Hello, here is the zipper tutorial from Ksenia from Functional Clothing Lab. I have divided the material in two main parts. One is more theoretical. It will be describing the types of zippers that exist, types of sliders, and the like. And the second part would be more hands-on. It would be more concerned with how to actually manipulate the zipper in order to adjust it for your project. So there are three types of zipper, main types, and they are different by what material and construction zipper teeth do have. So I will list them in the order of the least favorite first. So my least favorite is the zipper with metallic teeth. I don't use it at all. Second type, which is decent, is a molded teeth zipper. It's made of plastic, but it's somewhat more rigid and more bulky than the type that is actually most common, and you will find it on most of the things you own, is a coil type zipper. Let's take a closer look at types of a zipper with coil teeth. First of all, let's talk about the sizes. Coil zipper comes in sizes from 0 to 10. Not all the increments, so there is 0, 2, 3, 4.5, 5. I never met 6. I think then after 5 it goes 8 and 10, and that's it. 0 and 10 are extremities, so you rarely see them. 10 you can see on luggage, sometimes with 0. I have not seen, I think, before, but recently I purchased one, and it's so cute. It's so small and flexible, very nice. Then coil zipper, apart from regular one, that is the most common, can be found in a water-resistant style, which is a reversed, it looks like a regular coil zipper on the back side, but then it's reversed, and the zipper tape itself is treated with some film, which allows it to be almost waterproof. The only point of weakness is actually this gap in the middle, and water can go through the teeth. Then there is concealed zippers, where the tape itself and the slider are different from regular. And I will not go into details about concealed zippers because I solely use it in my gear project, so I don't think we need to cover it in this tutorial. But I want to note about concealed zippers that they come not only in the size like 4.5, which you will find in dresses, skirts, and lightweight garments, but also in sizes in number 5, for example, which would be considered heavy-duty concealed zipper, which could be used maybe on backpack when you don't want the teeth of zipper to be exposed. You want just a very neat finish so that just your fabric has one slit and in fact it's pocket. I have used this one for pocket. But those are hard to come by in the regular stores. It's not so easy to find. And then generally there are many variations in innovations happening in the world of zippers, and unfortunately it's really hard to get your hands on them. One gem of my collection of zippers is a flexible zipper. It's also made by YKK. I found it in one store only, never seen it afterwards anywhere online, but it's so amazing. It has a very soft tape. Tape itself is stretchy, but then the coil stretches together with the tape. It's just wonderful. Let's look at what zipper consists of. It has a zipper tape, then what is called officially elements, but in our case this is coil and coil teeth. Then slider, pull tab, the piece that you pull to open the zipper, and then there are top stoppers on the top of the open zippers, and bottom stoppers, or I think it's called locking box, the part that is located in the bottom of the separating zippers. Sliders comes in 3 major variation. First is non-locking slider. If you pull apart 2 sides of the zipper tape, it just opens. Then there are 2 types of locking slider. One is automatic locking slider. It is, first of all, if you pull in zipper tapes apart, the locking slider does not move, and this automatic locking sliders locks in any position of the pull tab. It's not related. The internal spring mechanism keeps it locked until you pull the tab in any direction. And then there is semi-automatic locking slider, which locks only in one position, which is this. So you can see it doesn't open in this position because inside there are some metallic teeth that are engaged in this position of the pull tab. But in any other position of the pull tab, this is actually not locking so much. You can see. Then among the non-locking sliders, there is a variation that I find useful, which is double-sided slider, which has pull tabs on both sides. Often you'll see this on sleeping bags, but also it could be useful in the garments, in the stuff sack, if the stuff sack works the following way, that you take the jacket, for example, off, then you turn the pocket inside out, you stuff everything inside this pocket, and then you close the zipper again. So that's when it's handy to have the pull tabs on both sides of the zipper. As well, there is how it's called, I forgot. Basically, it's the same functionality, the slider that has ability to be opened from both sides, but in this case the pull tab is not located on both sides, but it's sitting in some kind of rail that allows it to be moved from one side to another. And I believe this is actually also locking slider. Maybe that's one of the reasons why this mechanism was created, not only to move the tab from one side to another, but to also enforce the locking mechanism. I'm not sure exactly. Zippers could also be divided in 2 groups. First would be the finished zippers, the ones that are pre-assembled, that they have fixed lengths and sliders already inserted. And the second group is the zipper on the roll. It is continuous zipper tape, which allows you to create zipper of precisely the length you need and control how many sliders you put on or what type of sliders. The only thing is that with zipper from the roll, you cannot create open-ended zippers. That's an unfortunate fact, which I wish would not be that. And the second group, finished zippers, could also be divided into subgroups: open-ended zipper and closed-end zippers. So closed-end zippers are the ones that are always closed on the bottom, and open-ended zippers are ones that are able to be separated. The closed bottom zippers could also be assembled in the various ways. It could be just with one slider, so that it opens in one direction and closes in another direction always. Then there could be 2 sliders, and they could be either facing each other, and when they are fully open, they create opening like this, and they are referred to as O-type because of this opening. Or sliders could be facing away from each other, and then when they are opened, fully opened, they would meet at some point, and they would create something like X, so they are called X-type. Then among zippers that are able to be separate, There are also two types. One would be the simple one again, with just one slider that just separates in the end. And the second type is the one which will have two sliders. So it would be able to be opened from the top to bottom or from the bottom towards the top, which this is my favorite type of zipper. We've looked at zipper and its components, its assembly types. Now it's time to see how to apply all this in practice. I will show you how to create your own zipper from the zipper by meter tape and install sliders, install top and bottom stoppers, as well as finish the zipper. Those advices could be also used to modify store-bought zippers and to repair the zippers that are already set in your garments. I need a zipper for a specific project that I'm working on. So, of course I know what length of zipper I do need because I projected it in my pattern, but I found that when sewing these lightweight fabrics, it inevitably kind of shrinks a little bit because of the stitches. So then you lose 5 millimeters, and if you made zipper exact length, then you have hard times setting it in. So this time I will do it another way. I will actually measure the garment at this stage, and I will create zipper exactly the length I need. So it was supposed to be 30 centimeters. Now I see that 29 and a half will work much better. So to create a 29 and a half millimeter zipper, I would need to cut more than that, of course, because we need some ends on top and some ends on the bottom. I would say most of the time I leave actually 15 millimeters on each side. So overall 3 centimeters, 29 and a half, 32 and a half centimeters. I recommend you to cut, sorry I forgot my scissors here. I recommend you to cut zippers actually with some paper scissors, not with the fabric scissors. You know why. So 32 and a half. Now, I have a zipper tape. I would need sliders. This specific garment needs a very specific type of zipper that I really struggled with making, but now I found a way and I will share it with you. And I have not found this information anywhere fully available. So this is a unique piece. This garment core warmer, it takes zipper here that can be opened from top to bottom and then from bottom to the top. So both zipper sliders have to sit back to back, which is a little bit tricky. First I will show you the easy one. First slider is easy to insert. Here I have something, some kind of imitation of zipper jig. While researching how to actually work with zipper, I found this bit of information about zipper jig, and it's basically the proper one is a piece of metal, like metal rods that is attached, let's say, to the side of the table with some clamp, and it has a bend like this, and then it's split in the end so that any zipper slider can be put on. But main reason to use it is for stability first, so that you can hold zipper tape with two hands and work it inside the slider, and not to have to hold at the same time zipper slider itself. But for locking sliders, it's a double useful thing because it holds the pull tab in the unlocked position. But then I found some people suggesting making your own zipper jig, and I've just cut out this slit, like this maybe easier, this slit in plastic useless card, and it works for me. Of course, if it would be mounted somewhere on the table like a proper zipper jig, it would be even better, but okay, it works that way. So what I do is I insert zipper slider the following way, so that the pull tab is unlocked. Then I'll actually slightly burn the edges so that they don't fray when I'm pulling it and working my way into the sliders, but just slightly, not to melt the zipper coil itself, which by the way is plastic. For a long time I really thought that it's metallic, for a long time before I started working with this, but it's just a plastic coil. So you take zipper tape, you separate it slightly. I'll insert both ends of the tape midway, try to align them, and then push them both at the same time. Push or pull them. It's really simple to insert this way. And try to feed them evenly. It's not so crucial if you just insert in one, because whole zipper would be aligned, just these two ends, and in this end would be misaligned. But if you are planning to insert two sliders, it's much better to insert it evenly, because the second one you would be inserting from another side, and if when they meet there is misalignment, it's not nice. So, but inserting second one, so this is a simple one, and this would be actually the one that is facing upwards. But the one that would need to be opened from bottom to the top is more tricky to insert, because you will have to insert it from the back part of the slider, which doesn't have two separated slots. It's one together, and yeah, it's just trickier. So what I found useful. So basically, okay, let me show you what if I just try to insert it the same way as I just did, but from the back part of the slider. Basically, first thing that you will notice, you will have to insert the zipper that is closed, because it's the same width as a closed zipper, the slot. So you cannot open it and try to insert. You have to insert it when it's closed. If you insert it when it's closed, then inside the slider, it has to be opened in order to run, in order to be able to pull both parts, but it doesn't want to do it on its own. It doesn't want, and you have no way to getting inside the slider and slightly opening two coils so that they don't cling to each other and allow you to move. So to go around this issue, what I found useful is, I have not done it in a while, let's see how it goes, is the following, is to take some flash cutters, or any cutters, maybe even you can try with scissors, but this is just more precise and easy to control. What I do is, I cut at an angle in order to create kind of a slope, so that from the top of the teeth towards the end of the zipper there is a slope, not just straight cut and no teeth, in order to trick the slider to think that there is a coil and run and open it. So tricky. Let's see if I can actually manage it from the first time here. Okay, it goes in. And now, yes! Look how glorious and easy it is. But the struggle to find a way to actually properly do it, so you don't break all your nails, or you don't just break whole tape of the zipper. It took me quite a bit of hours to find the proper way, but I'm really happy with it, and I hope you'll find it useful, because not everybody has to struggle to find a way, and if I found a way, I want to share it so that you don't have to struggle. And now we have wonderful zipper that can be opened from both sides, but from one side for the core warmer I need it to be closed, so I need to install a bottom stopper. Now I will show you how to do it. To install the bottom stopper, you can do it even with hand or with just against the table, but I find it useful to use these kind of pliers, because I want it to be neat. I will actually manually try to close the zipper teeth, you just push them together one by one, one by one, and then you can actually close. While doing it, you can understand really what zipper slider does. Just aligns them precisely so that and pushes them together, and they just close. So you can see I just manually closed piece of zipper, and now about 1.5 centimeter, not about 1.5 centimeter from the end of the tape, little mark, and aligning the top of my bottom stopper with this mark, I'll just push it through. You can pull a little bit the prongs. I don't know if they're called prongs. I'll call them prongs. And just push them a little bit. And just close it. You see? And up, up. So now we have a bottom stopper. Now, nice and neatly, our zipper is stopped from sliding off. On the top, we need to install top stopper so the top slider does not slide off. I have a type of the top stopper that just crimps around the coil, which I don't particularly like. I would prefer the same style as the bottom stopper with prongs. But that's what I've got, so I'll show you how to use it. Now I will actually measure the zipper and see exact location of the top stopper that I need. I'll measure it from the bottom of the bottom stopper, and I'll mark the position where the top stopper should go. So I needed 29.5 centimeter. So I mark where precisely 29.5 would be, double it. And now I will align my, actually this instrument would be really necessary to apply this crimp style top stoppers, whereas the prong one you can make do with something else, but without this instrument, the crimp ones is really hard to close. And even with this, it's not always precise and nice. So now the top stoppers I will align also with so the top of the top stopper would be aligned with the bottom of the mark. Not that this is a very precise mark, but okay. What we'll do, I'll grab it with my pliers, and then I'll just wrap it around the coil, push the coil all the way through, and crimp. Yeah. And the second one, same thing. If your coil doesn't quite fit inside such, if you happen to also have the same type, you can, I'll show you, I used it before. You can actually insert your pliers or anything that is tapered and just pull a little bit, pull it a bit open. Either push the pliers inside or try to open it a little bit so that your zipper coil could be inserted more easily in the top stopper. Okay, now I will also push my closer so that they are aligned. Okay, and now I will install the second one. So I have to push my zipper tape slightly in and then crimp it. Yeah, it doesn't go quite as inside as I would wish, but okay. Now we've got the top stoppers. Bam. But that's not the end. Another unique piece of information that I'm going to share with you is how to make this very, very neat and sweet. You can actually, if you look very closely at the structure of the coil zipper, you will see that each coil on each side is attached with threads. What we will do now is we will take the seam ripper and undo those stitches. So just pick one then that you can see on the top of the coil, then you can, once they're slightly separate, you can find that coil that you could just pull apart coil and the zipper tape, and you'll see the stitch in the middle and it is easier to open. So we will open all the stitches until our top stopper or bottom stopper, and then just with a plier cut them and remove the. So you see, now you have a flexible end of the zipper that is much easier to put inside, to fold, to stitch, whereas when you have these teeth left, it's much harder to put somewhere, to hide them inside the collar. So this allows you to make zipper just like the finished ones, because the finished ones, after the top and bottom stopper, they have just a soft tape. So now you can make your own, and you will not lose any quality of the store-bought zipper, but you will gain just the advantage of making your own custom lengths and custom setup of sliders. Because, for example, you can even insert 3 or 4 sliders, so that the long zipper could be opened in several parts separately. So it gives you much more freedom. I completed the zipper in the previous step, and now I'm going to attach it to the core warmer. What to do with these sticking out parts? Because it would be attached flush with the neckline. So the way that I like to do it is the following way. I will fold it once to form 45 degrees angle here, and then one more time, so that zipper ends in a flush line with a future neckline. And I even sometimes baste it with machine before attaching the zippers. So now we've got those two top ends really neatly folded here. Now the zipper is actually ready to be attached to the core warmer. At the bottom part we don't need to do anything. In fact, maybe just fire it a little more. If it's going to be in the garment where it doesn't directly touch your skin, because otherwise the burnt edges would be really uncomfortable and itchy. But because this garment is supposed to be worn on top of something, it doesn't make so much difference. So here is a ready and installed zipper. Look how nice. Whoop. And from here. And the advantage of removing coil from the point below the bottom stopper is that when you stitch through it, the machine doesn't have to go through the coils themselves, the teeth, and it can just smoothly go. Especially I find it important for the lightweight garments, because you use smaller thread, smaller needle, and I don't want to risk my nice and thin and sharp needles going through zipper, and so it's just much more smooth and neat. Whew. I think that's it for today about zippers. I have actually covered all the topics that I wanted to cover. Let me know if there is anything else that you need to know about zippers, and I'll try to answer it to you. And happy making!